The tidal wave of hype that was seen at the release of College Football 25 was unlike anything I've ever seen with a sports game. And now that it's been out for roughly a month, just short of a month, I think it's time to finally start to have some takeaways about the game and ways that it can improve. Now, full disclosure, I absolutely love the game. I have a great time playing it. It's super fun. It's super infuriating. I love how difficult it is. But there are some things that I think are missing from this game. And I think that'll be the biggest differentiator between College Football 25 and Madden is how much do they listen to the fans and how much do they add these things that people are asking for. So without further ado, here are some things that I think College Football 25 could add. It's my wish list, it's my gripes, whatever you want to call it. Here it is. This one may be the most popular to complain about in the internet, top 25 logic. Now, there's something weird about the logic, especially when the college football playoff poll comes out in this game. There doesn't seem to be an exact pattern of bias, but teams with 3 and 4 losses are routinely being ranked above teams with only 1 loss or that are undefeated. I haven't had it happen to me too much in my own experience playing Dynasty, but you will see these bizarre screenshots of people showing they've got a pretty good strength of schedule, and yet they've got a 3-loss Kansas State or a 4-loss Alabama above their 12-0 team or their 11-0 team, and it's not even the case that they're a group of 5 team. So that's definitely something that needs to be fixed. They've put out some patch notes saying that they're working on this to fix that top 25 logic. I can only hope that that is happening and that will happen for this game because that would be really awesome. And the other one that kind of goes hand in hand is the sim logic. Simulated games result in some wild results. And yes, it does happen in college football all the time, these wild results, but it is a tad bit extreme at some points to the point where people are having, I think, a little more parity than they'd like to see. Maybe they want it scaled back a little bit, and that is something that College Football 25 and EA said they are going to work on as well. So those are the two to start off, top 25 logic and sim logic. The number one thing I would have on my wish list for a new college football game would be putting real head coaches in the game. Now, I understand that logistically it's really hard to do because there's no real union or whatever it is for all of the college coaches, so at least make them customizable so you can put the real coaches in the game, because if you get 5+ years into a dynasty, there's no players left that you recognize. The people that are left are the coaches, and that just gives an extra layer of immersion, an extra thing to track as you go on, like where does Kirby Smart going? Where's Dabo Swinney going? Just stuff like that. It always is a really fun thing to track in Dynasty. So I hope they add coach customization back because I was really disappointed to see that I couldn't go and edit the other team's coaches. I really hope that in future editions they make it so you're able to change players' numbers. No idea why you're not able to do that in this version. I understand to a degree with the NIL players, but when you get further into a dynasty, not being able to edit those numbers can really bother you, especially if you end up in a funky situation where you change a guy in positions and you end up with a guy wearing like number 42 playing wide receiver or number 35 playing quarterback. It's those little things that can drive you a little nuts sometimes. I can at least learn to embrace this and create some storyline for the player, but it is very annoying. I'm obviously very happy that we're able to do realignment in this game, as that's such an important thing in the real college football world, but I wish you had an ability to rename those conferences or create new ones, because trying to rebuild those old ones, it can get annoying having all that branding in the way. And so I really wish that they'll do that in a future game. Just add more customization options in terms of creating a new conference entirely or renaming some of those and maybe rebranding some of those conferences. Maybe you could attach that to Team Builder. I think that would be a really cool thing to see. Another glaring flaw with this game has been the lack of a true soundtrack. A drum line is not enough to just carry us through gameplay, especially when you're sitting for hours in recruiting or in Dynasty or doing a rebuild. That's the only thing you have to listen to on repeat, and it can drive a man crazy. I'm not even asking you to get a bunch of crazy artists to come together and get a soundtrack or whatever it takes to do that, but at least having something like the fight songs playing while you have the menu pulled up. Something to that extent, just to have a quick refresher and not have to listen to this drum line that just sounds the same the whole time. This one might not bother a ton of people, and some people probably didn't even notice, but I did, because I love playing as other teams in my dynasty, and you're not able to do that. So I wish they'll add the ability to play other dynasty games in your own dynasty. I used to do it when I was like the number 3 team in the country, and I needed the number 2 team to lose so I could get into the national title game the last week of the season, so I would go play their game as their opponent and try to beat them and earn a spot through another team, just playing in some of those big games, especially if you're like stuck in a Toledo rebuild and you're 4-7, just going in and playing one of those other big games just to feel something is something that I think just adds a ton of immersion and a really fun element to a dynasty. But like I said, some people might not even notice this one. This one's more of a personal one for me. Team Builder is awesome, and it's honestly an element I completely forgot about leading into this game because I was so hyped for things like Dynasty Mode and just play now, just having a game, that when Team Builder dropped, it was a pleasant surprise. I like the customization they have, but I'm just asking for a little bit more customization freedom, specifically regarding stadiums in the future, and also being able to edit the players a little more. I was disappointed to see that you can choose, an archetype to build off of, but you're not able to edit your players on the site. That's kind of disappointing to me as well, but I just want a little bit more freedom in Team Builder. And last but not least, you might consider this an honorable mention because College Football 25 crew has said they're going to work on it, but I just want more uniform options. Seeing most teams only having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 uniform options is a little disappointing, but I understand that sort of thing is going to take time, especially with the position they were in when they started this game. But like I said, that serves as a little bit more of an honorable mention. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything else you can think of that you want to be added either to this game or to future editions that you think is severely missing. I'm trying to keep it as optimistic and not sound naggy because I understand that can come across this way. I'm not one of those people that hates this game or thinks it's a bad game. I love it. I love the game, but I also don't think it's a flawless game, and I see the areas where it could be improved in future iterations. And so if you like the video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys later this week.